I'm green, I'm going for it.
Phantom is going to drive the Man van. I'm going to drive the 55, and we're going to line them up next to each other on this historic road. This is the first road that we took the Street Outlaws production crew to and raced out here for the pilot of Street Outlaws.
Well, that was badass. I'm kind of anxious to hear what Phantom's take on that was. Hey guys, it's J-Rob with TRC and J-Rod's Garage. We're going to be going out today and shooting the second installment of the Murder Nova video. My good friend Shawn, aka Murder Nova, is going to have us back out. We're going to be whipping around his 55 Chevy, Procharger on board, LSX powered, as well as the Man van, the Trailblazer SS. We may even get those two things side by side. You guys don't want to miss this feature. And if you haven't done so, go click subscribe to 187 Customs as well as J-Rod's Garage. We're going to be giving away this rod and piston combo signed by Murder Nova himself out of the new No Prep Kings car. And we're going to be sending you guys some swag. So go comment on the video on our channels talking about the piston. We're going to be giving this away. You guys don't want to miss this. So obviously it's been a few weeks since we've been back over here. This is one of the cars we wanted to feature. This is the 55 old G car you've had since the Oklahoma True 10 5 days.
Yeah.
Obviously had a different power plant in it back then.
Yes,
So we're going to take this out today. A lot has happened the last couple of weeks.
It has. It's I mean, we don't just sit around idle. We've got something going on every day. We tear shit up every day and we fix stuff every day. So
tell us a little more about this car. Obviously, it's got a big ass Procharger on it.
it does. So this is a LS deal that Justin McDougal out at X Power Racing built for us. It's a 416 cubic inch deal. It's a stock block LS3. It's got an F1X Procharger on it. It's making 700 the way it sits right now to the tires. No intercooler yet, so it's on E85, but we can't really push it yet.
I assume you're going to put an intercooler on it.
We have an intercooler on order for what, 3 months now?
Oh, at least.
At least 3 months, and we got the one that goes underneath here. You would think in this big ass 55 Chevy there'd be plenty of room for an intercooler. Sure. There's really not. The car is it's all steel, and we don't really want to add any more weight than what we have to, so we don't want to put a big intercooler on it in the back and run everything to the front.
And
so
hoses and all that shit.
yeah, so we'll just put this one on it. It's the shear.
Yeah, sheer fabrication.
Sheer fabrication one. Other than that, we'll be able to turn it up. But at 9 degrees of timing, it made 705 to the tires, and
400.
It's a Rossler 4L80 in this deal. You know, with Pro Torque.
And, the F1X on this combo is good for what? Probably 1200.
It should make every bit of 1200. Yeah, before the nitrous, which we don't have on it yet, but we don't really know how much the block is going to handle.
Stock block?
So it is a stock block.
All of it. Right,
so obviously it's a street car. There's bugs all over it.
Yeah, my dad actually has been driving this thing everywhere, and he's our test dummy. yeah, is that what we're going to call it?
Yeah,
so we give him this car, and we're like, hey, the car's done, come pick it up. And it's sort of done. It's sort of, we still don't have the interior in it yet, no headliner. I want this thing to be full-blown street car because at some point on our YouTube channel, we're going to drive this thing the length of 66.
Oh, badass.
It's going to be me and Phantom, and we're going to stop at all the cool little places along the side. And even if we start here in Oklahoma and end up at Santa Monica, then so be it.
That'd be super cool. It's
other
loud
than
though,
that,
I assume, right? I saw Richard driving with headphones on.
It is loud. We don't have the exhaust all the way run out the back yet. We had to change a few things on the suspension to get the car as low as what we wanted it. and now we got to run the exhaust the rest of the way out of the back. But yes, it is loud, but he's been driving it everywhere, and as far as I know, hasn't had any problems.
So it'll be kind of a cool test. I know you said schedule depending, but you signed up for that race that we're putting on in May.
Yes.
So that'd be cool. That's
Yes.
about 120, 30 miles that you guys will get to drive this thing and cruise open roads of Oklahoma with.
Oh, it is? There's a cruise and everything?
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
That would be cool.
120 miles.
And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm probably going to let Dad cruise it and drive it in the race.
That'd be sick.
And then I'll just stand there, and it does have a FT550 in it.
Okay.
So
Fuel tech on board.
The tuning this deal is going to be just like tuning
Right.
one of my race cars.
Yeah, we're starting in Cushing, taking highway across. We're stopping in Watonga, having to take a picture, kind of like a race week thing with the grain elevators, and then right to Hinton. So that way, people who don't follow the cruise can't take a shortcut.
Man, I didn't really know that. Dad may lose his seat in this car for that deal, because the cruising around is the part I like.
Yeah, me too.
Like, everybody looks at us and goes, "Oh, these guys, they race a lot." We do race a lot, but man,
It's about
I
driving cars.
enjoy
We
the
have cars
cruising
like
too.
this.
There's a reason that we built this car, and it is to cruise around. We miss the good old days whenever I could drive
Go
the
to
Novas
Sonic or
around.
something?
Yes,
Yeah, like back
we
in
used
the
to
day.
drive those cars around and then go race them and then drive them home. You know, if we didn't break them.
Yeah.
Those were the days.
We miss all that stuff,
Yeah,
and,
we're-
and this takes us back to, especially with the LS plan in it before. It had a big block Chevy with a single entry nitrous plate on it before, and I would assume it's going to go faster now than what it did then, just because how
Technology.
much technology has changed.
Isn't it funny how racers will do that? You start here and you progress to a spot, let's say where you're at, one of the fastest street cars in the world. But at some point, you're like, I want to get back to my roots and enjoy the things that got me to this point.
Yeah, it seems
And
like
driving
life was
your
so
car.
much easier
Simpler.
then, you know?
Simpler.
And everything now is like, oh man, I don't want to put any miles on those rods.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So otherwise you're going to be in the boat that we're in right now with the new car.
So I saw online that you guys had hurt the new car testing it in Texas, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like-
We literally made 2 passes down there, and we were on a pretty good run. The first pass, we tire shook the shit out of it, and that honestly probably hurt some stuff. But the second pass, the track was just really sticky. It was really good. The second pass, we were on a good lick. We went 101 to the 60. We pulled a rod in 2 about 2 seconds into the run, still coasted to a 280 to the 330. It had 50, 60 pounds of boost in it when it let go.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And,
So they let go.
Oh yeah, no, it let go.
Holding the
It
block.
destroyed it.
That brand new one-off motor we were talking about.
Oh yeah. So it put one of the wrist pins through the cylinder and then through the side of the block. So, but all that's fixed now already. It's been 2 weeks since that happened. That's all fixed now, but we really figured out the main problem with everything. And at the end of the day, even though everybody has to do this when they say it's a small block,
Right.
it's still a small block. And the wrist pins were no bigger than what the wrist pins are in this.
Okay.
So as we're pulling the thing apart, we start measuring everything, and every rod end and every piston was oblong. It was trying to pull them apart. So we went back with a 990 pin, which should give us the strength that we need, because the motor only had 12 passes on it, but it was 12 70 pounds of
dig
boost,
passes, yeah.
you know.
So we're going to take the 55. It's Sunday morning. We're going to get the Man Van, the Trailblazer SS. We're going to go over to the spot where we meant to go last time before the fans quit working. They've since got the fans working, so we're going to take both of them and we're going to see which one's faster.
I'm green, I'm going for it.
So we drove the Man Van, the 55 out here. We got a little impromptu race on the way out here, and it honestly surprised me. That red car is not slow. Because I know how fast the Man Van is. when
I
we're
know.
roving it.
Hey, and look, I should be happy because I'm more looking at it backwards than what you just
Yeah.
said. I'm looking at it like the Man Van's not fast, but we know the Man Van's fast.
It's just
So
that 55
I
is real
should
fast.
be happy that the 55 was just walking away from the Man Van. But man, I'm kind of upset about it.
Yeah.
But that has led us to doing something that we didn't plan on doing when we got out here. Phantom is going to drive the Man Van. I'm going to drive the 55, and we're going to line them up next to each other on this historic road.
Like
right
this
here.
is Climate Master.
It is.
So there's so much history with this road and cache days. Like you think of some of the most famous spots in America, the pad, and you know, to me, like this road is up there, right?
It is.
Like,
There's no doubt about it. This is Oklahoma history right here.
Yep.
Before they started parking this here so that people wouldn't race, we started from back there.
Yep.
But, and now the cars are so fast, I'm not even real sure that we can make a full hit here.
Yeah.
But these cars we can. But now they've moved the starting line up here, and man, this road, it's amazing because I used to think this is the greatest road ever, and now you drive down it and it's just bumpy as hell.
Yeah, it's junk. And
You
now
know,
there's
but
dust
There's a
blowing
big old
across
dip
it.
right there.
Yeah.
And
But
But
yeah, I mean, y'all.
we've made some fast passes down here.
Yeah.
This, in fact, I don't know if anybody else knows, but this is the first road that we took the Street Outlaws production crew
It
to
is.
The
and
pilot.
raced
For the
out here
pilot,
for
yeah.
the
I
pilot of
remember
Street
that.
Outlaws. This is the road. There's a big parking lot right over there, and that's where we all set. And it was 100% illegal.
Oh, 100%.
It's not like we had people out here shutting the road down. The production company that was out here at the time, they just took all the film, all the footage, and sold it to who they sold it to.
Right.
So they were out here on their own.
Wild West.
They were out here on their own, and they even came up to us and was like, "What do you guys are really going to race?" And we were like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, we thought we was just going to sit in a parking lot and jack the front end of the cars up and make it look like y'all was launching."
Like
We was
Fast and
like,
Furious.
"No, we don't do.
What?
We don't even know how to do that, man." So we came out here, and at the time my car wasn't running, but the Death Trap was running. Varley had his car out here.
Barley, farm truck, the El Camino.
Yeah, the El Camino was out here. There was a couple others, you know, and that's what we made the pilot off of.
So if you guys ever in Oklahoma City, and you're into street racing, you're into Street Outlaws history, this is the road.
Yep.
This is the road. So let's see what these cars will do.
All right. It was closer than I thought. And that makes me happy, though. That makes me happy. We spun a little bit out of the hole, but still, that makes me happy that I didn't just kill him, you know?
Well, that was badass. I'm kind of anxious to hear what Phantom's take on that was.
Yeah.
It was, man.
Man, it was
It
close.
took you a minute to come around me.
It's close. Yeah. That thing definitely
Yeah.
digs
I
better.
left on him, you know.
That thing definitely digs better than this one. And I think I spun a little bit further. You spun more than I thought you was going to, though.
Yeah, same.
But
I had to
neither one of
pedal a
us
little
did
bit.
great burnouts.
No.
You know, and we didn't lay anything down. We just pulled up there and did a burnout. I'm cool with it, dude.
Oh, yeah, no, it was
I'm,
fun.
And I'm happy that, you know, I didn't just kill you.
Yeah.
It makes me feel better about the man band.
Yeah.
Once this thing gets an intercooler and it's turned up, it's going to be bad.
Oh, yeah,
It's gonna be out of control, man.
It's going to be fast.
So,
Especially street
like
car.
literally 9 degrees of timing is nothing in this deal.
And honestly, it's got some IAT correction in it to where whenever it starts to get heat soaked,
Pulls
it'll pull it out even more. So.
Yeah, no intercooler, it's pulling timing.
Yeah.
Good hit, bro.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, it was fun. It was
It
fun.
was cool.
It was fun.
It was cool.
Well, shit.
So I'm gonna hear it forever now, though, because I know he left on me. I'm pretty sure I was watching him. You know,
I told him if we ever race, I'm leaving on you. You're gonna come around me, but I'm leaving on you.
that was cool, though. That's the first time that I looked over at him. I was like, I haven't even done a burnout in this car. Like,
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Yeah.
No, that's the first burnout I've done in it. Which, you know,
It'll burn out.
yeah, no, it will.
So, hey, so we just got on camera the first burnout you did in this car?
Well, in
Since-
11 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. In 11 years, that's the first pass that I've actually made in the car. In 11 years. First burnout and first pass.
Yep.
And I saw the OG car over here. It's up
Yes.
on the lift.
Yes.
What's going on with that?
We completely redid everything on this car. New quarters, new front end, new doors.
Because I saw this at Don Dow's a few months ago.
It was. Don did all the chassis stuff to it. Like, as far as he put the quarter panels on it, he redid all the trunk area with new carbon. He hung the doors, he hung the front end. And we took it out testing it. We got the whole thing completely rewired. We took it down to Georgia, Savannah, Georgia.
Not Atlanta.
Not to be confused with Atlanta. Anyways, we took it to Savannah, Georgia. Michael Bunton. We had some problems on the show last time we were racing this deal. Up in Nebraska.
Put in like a bracing of the front end, or was that this car?
That was the other car.
That was a new car.
That was the other car. Yes, that was a completely whole different problem that didn't fix anything.
No.
That was basically suspension.
Wow.
The reason we figured out a lot with the new car, and I do believe that we could put it back on the street and it would be
better.
Yeah. So, but this is the OG. It belongs on the street. It doesn't belong in a shop sitting somewhere. So we're gonna leave this one on the street because, man, last time we had it out, we were still kicking ass with it. But we did lose a couple of races, and we can't say a whole lot about it because it hasn't showed up yet on America's
List
20, top 20.
Yeah.
America's list. And we actually did really well with this car on that. We lost 3 or 4 races because something electrical was shutting the car off.
Oh, that's always fun.
So we're beating our heads against the wall the whole time. It does look like you have a week in between races on TV. We had one night. We raced every night. We were off on Thursdays and on Sundays. And so to find, yes, in Nebraska. So to find an electrical problem like that, it's almost impossible. So we bring the thing home. We stripped everything down before we took it to Dawn to put all the new panels on it. Took it to Michael Bunton, had it wired up. On the way home, we stopped by Steele, Alabama and tested the car. First 2 passes, it shut off, just like it did in Nebraska.
Oh,
and there's not one stitch of wiring in this car that was the same. So we're pulling our hair out. Luckily, it was an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours from Fuel Tech. We went to Fuel Tech, picked up all new boxes for the car, which we had changed out before, but we're thinking maybe something in the wiring, screwed those boxes up, put new boxes on it, still shut off. It ended up being a bad coil, and the coil was overheating the FT spark box, and it was shutting itself off. So we hollered at MSD. They sent us all brand new coils, and we're supposed to test the car again this week.
That's exciting.
Yes, but the rear end is whining. It's making some noise, so we pulled it out. We changed the stator, put a little bit tighter stator in it. We did run, a 36 with this car. We went 436, and we got a pretty loose converter in this deal for the street, and that's about all it's going to allow us to run. So
it'll do 436 on the street or on the track?
I think it'll do every bit of 36 on the street.
That's awesome.
So, but with that loose of a converter in it, if we try to put any, and that's at 36 pounds of boost. Right. We try to put any more boost to it, it's going to blow through the converter more and probably slow down. So we put a tighter converter in it, and then we'll see what happens.
God, I remember this car from, I don't know, 12, 15 years ago with carburetors hanging out of the hood.
Yes.
You know, big nitro cylinder deal. Then it went to an F1R?
F3.
F3. Big front mount F3.
Yes.
So how many stages has this car been through over the years? I know
so blowers are my favorite. They always have been. I mean, nobody can not like blowers.
Oh, yeah. They make all the right noises.
So we had a 871 on it when it first came out, and that's when it did the big wheelie with the carburetors. And then after that, we went to the F3, and then we went to the belt, or the gear-driven F3, and then we went twin turbo. So, you know,
so
it's been boosted.
When the show started, it was blower though, right?
It was.
That's what I remember.
It was.
Yep. I can't help but notice, is this rubbing on the turbo from the wheels?
It always does, yes.
Turbo, wastegate.
Yes. It hits it all. That's about...
when it wheelies a little bit?
Yeah. It hits on things like that because when we had this car on a 275 at... which Ducks race was it? I always get them mixed up. Lights Out, one of those deals.
One of them.
One of those in
One of
Georgia.
Ducks races.
We did the big wheelie through the finish line. When you do things like that, it does come down because this is hanging and it's still that close. And this is the second set of turbos we've had on it. The first ones, and we hear it a lot. Everybody's like, aren't you scared that you're gonna eat up turbos with nothing on them? I'm not scared about it. It happens. We used to have to clean out the intercooler every once in a while.
The first set of 88s we had on it, which were in the same position, had over 1,500 passes on them, and the compressor wheels were just ate up. But
it still made the boost, though.
It still made 40, 45 pounds of boost on their last pass. So we gave them away.
Precision gave them away, and they ended up going in and cutting everything out of them so that nobody could run them. So this motor here has 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 49 passes on it.
So how many passes out of a motor do you typically
We
get
don't
before you
really
service it?
know.
We serviced this one
aluminum
the
rods?
last time.
Yes, aluminum rods. So once this one gets, I said 50 passes, we were going to change the rods out, but we got rods on order right now. We're going to test it this week, and so maybe after that, before the show starts, we might put some rods in it.
So this is a 481, or is this still a small block
No,
too?
this is a big block, but this is a 540.
540 Pro line.
Yes.
So bigger displacement than the new car.
Yes.
Same size turbos?
No, these are 88s.
88. The other one
The
has
new car has 98s.
98s. Holy
So, and you know, other than that, pretty much everything is the same with the car. As far as Rossler, the transmission in this is exactly the same as the other transmission. So if something happened to the transmission, which that's why we run Rosslers, really nothing ever happens to them, then you pull this one out, put it in the other one.
Yep.
Same gear set.
Fuel
all
Tech
that stuff.
FT600.
Oh yeah, same Fuel Tech stuff that's on the other one.
Precision injectors.
It is. Same exact injectors that are on the other car. I got a set of 225s and a set of 550s.
And this car is probably a little heavier.
It is heavier.
It's
We
probably
honestly don't really
400.
know what this car weighs.
This one's probably somewhere around 3050 to 3100, I'd say.
I don't think this car's ever been 29 anything.
Oh wow.
So
It's heavy then.
yes.
And it's other than, is it still all metal?
Oh, yeah.
Besides the quarters?
Oh yeah. And it's still got
firewall,
stock
stock floor
firewall
pans.
still, which you know, we say steel firewall, but you know what's left of
It
it.
looks like it's got a stock floor in it.
It does. Stock floor pan in this deal. That's why we never really worried about having a reed case in it. Up until this last rebuild, this has had a stock case 400 in it. Now we went to a reed case so that we could have all the dumps.
Yep. Oh man, that's the dump technology in the last couple of years. Is
Out of
great.
control, man.
Out of control.
Out of control. We're still not 100% sure on how it all works, but we're starting to get a handle on it. We do have nitrous on this car still, just to spool it, which we put on the fly up in Nebraska. Everybody up there was having a hard time spooling.
Elevation?
Yes. I say everybody, not everybody.
Not
You know,
everybody, but we
if
did,
you're
and
an
that's-
amazing tuner, then you knew how to make your spool no matter where you're at. You know what I mean?
We knew how to make our spool too.
We knew how to make our spool. We put some nitrous on it.
Methanol?
It is methanol.
M1 or M5?
M1.
So for those watching that are more the average car guy, explain the difference between M1 and M5.
M5 has paraffins.
Nitro paraffins.
Nitroparaffins. It don't have nitro in it, but it has some of the paraffins of nitro in it.
Those characteristics of it.
Yes. We always just say it's got 4 more M's.
Yeah, 4 more M's.
You know?
What's the difference? 4
What's the
M's.
difference? There's 4 more M's in it. And the people like, let's just use Chief as an example, because he's the person that I know that mixes nitro with stuff. So when he's at the line, he's one of the guys that he can make his spool. It doesn't matter where it's at, because whether or not we're still together, he's a badass tuner. You know, and I wouldn't probably have learned as much as what I've learned as fast as what I have without being around him.
Sure.
You know, so I'm always going to give him that respect. He puts some nitro in his, and so when he's at the line and you smell his car, it's got all the M's in it. You know, we said, that's got to be at least M29.
It's a whole bag of M&Ms.
It's a whole bag of M's, and you can smell the difference between everybody else's car and his. But yes, this is definitely my original office, and
This is the car that made
I
it.
will always love this car, man. There's no doubt about it. And everybody asks me, if you had to sell one of them, which would you sell? I don't know. I would cry. I would cry, but I would probably sell the one that's in the trailer outside.
So somewhere in the distant future, is there an Aiden driving this car?
I don't know. Phantom's gonna drive it this week.
Yeah, you were racing on small tire before, right?
I have.
You raced at Outlaw Armageddon too, right?
I did. Outlaw Armageddon. I did a radial race on it one time.
Yeah.
And then.
But he's still never been a 4 anything.
never been a 4 anything.
So, and I'm not real sure with the way that this car's running right now if we can run a 5 anything.
Right.
So
As long
his
as I keep my
first
foot
lick,
on
I'm gonna
it.
turn it down, and his first lick, as long as he keeps his foot to the floor,
It's gonna go.
it should at least go a 460.
Yeah.
And this thing will probably run 460s on 20,
Probably
25 pounds of boost.
Pretty soft. What's it, 60 foot typically?
No, terrible. It's this car has never 60 footed good. And last time we were at the track, even Petty was helping us. And 111's the fastest we ever went, and that's what he went. We're not upset about it because it could be the converter. It may change now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we're not upset about it because I don't care how shitty the street is.
It goes down.
It goes down.
It always has.
Yeah.
You've won how many cash days?
Four.
Four. Yeah.
Four.
In this car, always, right?
One
Three
in the new
in this
car.
car, I believe.
Yeah.
And then we won the small car cash days that one time in the Death Trap.
With the Death Trap.
Before I sold it to Chuck.
Yep.
We won, and that was a drive it. I mean, we only drove it, what, 20, 30 miles. There's like, no, it's just right down the road. And in Dallas, right down the road is all of Oklahoma City.
Yes.
So we drove it further than what we had planned on because it rode like a pile of 2x4s.
Yeah.
But
I forgot you'd own that car. I completely forgot about that.
yeah, that's the reason. I've never really been a big Mustang guy, but no matter what, I always go for Chuck.
Yep.
Not just because he's my buddy, but just because I love that car so much, and I spent a lot of time on that car. Of course, there's nothing left on it that I did, but he's done well with that car, and I'm a fan of the Death Trap.
I want to see Chuck bring the Honda back out.
Yeah, everybody does, and he still has it. It's just sitting there.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of guys don't know, but Chuck was the man in like early 2000s.
Oh, he's Nopey.
Yeah, Nopey King.
Anybody that knows anything about Nopey knows Chuck Seitsinger.
he has Wallace
I still have a baseball card
Yeah.
with his face on it that says Nopey on it.
Wow.
It's pretty sweet.
That's
I bet I got it right over in my box.
Probably.
That car went fast as hell back then. Sport front
Yeah, it
wheel
went,
drive,
what did it go, 8?
8 something.
like 190 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was out of control.
Crazy fast.
I don't know if anybody ever seen the video of him on fire. Have you seen that video? Okay, there's a video on YouTube somewhere. I don't even know whose video it is or where it's at, but he is full blown on fire, and you can see him look back at the fire. He grabs another gear and keeps on going, and then after the finish line, he pulls the chutes and jumps out of the car. Like, that's how bad Chuck wants to win.
Yeah,
Car's
there was,
full blown on fire. Most everybody else would abort the run, and Chuck keeps on going. He literally grabs another gear and keeps on going.
Chuck's one of the most competitive people I've ever met in my life.
No doubt.
Like,
No doubt.
Whatever it is. So obviously that was an absolute blast. That's what I was kind of hoping to do the first time we came out, but obviously
Yeah.
the fans went out and the 55 wasn't here. But to get to drive your cars on the street, see them race each other with you two driving, that was a pretty special moment. That's pretty cool, especially on an OG road like that.
It was fun,
It was
man.
fun.
Like, that was something that had never even crossed my mind, to take them two out and race them against each other. Well, and even this morning, it hadn't crossed my
Right.
mind. Whenever you were like, hey, can we take the man van too? It still didn't cross my mind until we pulled up to a stoplight together, and I looked over and I was,
This is gonna
gotta
happen.
and then
get it.
any racer,
Yep.
right then, it crosses our minds. And a lot of times the spur of the moment type like that's what gets us in trouble. You know?
Because you're not
But-
looking around, you'd have no security.
No, I didn't care. There could have been a cop 2 cars behind me. It wouldn't have mattered. I would have went, if you'd have
he
pulled me
got us.
over, I'd have went, what are you going to do?
my bad.
Hey,
How'd that
you
look,
win
man?
some and you lose some, you know? But it was definitely cool. Once I saw, man, it just didn't really play out like I thought it was going to play out in my head. I really thought, man, we're kind of out on him. He's fixing to come around us.
Yep.
But that didn't happen.
But I think
so,
on the man van's positive is it's heavier, so it hooked better on that road.
yes.
So that's why he probably
Yes.
got out on us, but we did come around him on the big one.
Yes.
Little power
Yeah.
to weight ratio.
Power, definitely. That's definitely a testament of power to weight ratio.
For sure.
I mean, it's
For
almost
sure.
2,000 pounds heavier, and it makes 200 horsepower less, and we were walking away from it.
Yep.
So,
Well, obviously, like we were speaking about earlier, the new motor unfortunately ate itself.
It did. It
So for all you guys TRC fans, go to 187 Customs, hit subscribe, go in their comment section on any video and say that you guys are there from TRC, and Shawn's going to sign this rod and piston out of the new motor. So you are literally going to have a piece of Murder Nova Street Outlaw history. So they're going to pick a random person through the comment section. They're going to mail it out to you. Phantom would be the one doing that. So be sure to comment 187 Customs and go and subscribe. Thank you guys again for allowing us to come out and shoot for 2 days, taking up a time of your life, allowing these fans who are mostly import guys to get to see a little bit behind the scenes of what it takes to maintain and have all these badass V8 rides, you know?
we don't care what kind of fans they are.
No.
If anybody who knows me can look around at even just our fleet of stuff and realize we don't have any imports in our fleet, but that doesn't mean because we
Not
don't
yet.
like them.
But you
yeah,
drove
that, no,
one.
that is not yet.
got your
Hanging up
eye
on the wall.
Oh
That's
yeah,
when
no,
we went to
no,
Brazil.
hey, not only drove one, man. I mean, you know, right here, that was one of the most fun times I've ever had in my life, and we've done a lot of crazy and stupid and fun shit, and that was still one of the coolest things we've ever done. I've never wanted an import worse in my life, and that's literally an import because we would have to import one in. The turbo blowing the fire and stuff is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. We love rotary motors. Anybody that knows us knows we're all about
Fast.
anything. It doesn't matter. Cars are cars. Anything that you put your earned money, time, blood, sweat, tears in that you love, we're fans of. You know, you can't be a car enthusiast and pick on a certain type of car. It doesn't matter. We like all cars.
Yep.
So
that just tells me, I think you need to come drive the Rotary and the Supra.
I'm not real sure if I'd know how to do it, you know, but
Just point it straight, hit the button.
I definitely wouldn't drive the Supra, man. That thing's too beautiful, you know. My son would freak out if he actually saw that car in person. But
We need
so
to do
at
that.
some point, we probably need to go and at least watch you race somewhere.
No,
at some
you need to
time.
drive it. You can
I
handle it.
don't know. I'm not saying I couldn't handle it, but what if something happened, man?
just make it-
You ain't trying to buy no Supra.
I ain't
Not
trying
right now.
I ain't trying to pay, especially a crashed one.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to buy no wrecked Supra.
Fucking 30-year-old Toyota.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
So-
Once again, thank you again.
Thank you, man.
Awesome
Thank you.
time,
We
guys.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And once again, 187 Customs. Go hit subscribe. These guys are doing some really cool stuff on YouTube. They just drove in the Freedom 500 down at Cletus's place. They're doing big things on YouTube. Go hit subscribe.
Thanks, guys.
Hey guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Unfortunately, since we filmed it, I held a Cruising Oklahoma event, some events that I put on here, and we travel all around the state. It was a drag race in a town called Hinton. Shawn, Danny, Aiden, Richard, his dad, Aaron, his wife, his whole crew came out. They cruised Oklahoma back roads, had an absolutely wonderful time, took the 55 and took Aiden Chevelle. Unfortunately, when we got to Hinton, Richard, Shawn's father, was driving the car and hadn't been in the car in quite some time. And I think the car was probably making in between 800 and 1,000 wheel horsepower. Let go of the trans brake. It was on an absolute pass. Car got out there and lit the tire, struck the tires, and it spun. And obviously, things happening in this sport.
Makes me sick to my stomach.
We were just driving this car around, what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
God damn.
I'm just so thankful that Richard's okay. Car can be replaced. Obviously, Shawn had an absolute ton of history with that car, dating 10, 12, 13 years back. That car was really special. They are going to be rebuilding it, so be sure to follow along for that, and they're going to be doing a full rebuild process on it.